It's Brands Hatch round 1 and time for the HMT Racing Pre-National Sport 600, the first race of the year. HMT, of course, standing for Whole Beach Motorcycle Tyres, a loyal supporter of ThundersportGB, and you can see by the conditions there, wet tyres are required for Matthew Jones, the pole sitter at this class for 2012. It's new and it's designed for rookies and non-national licence holders. A chance for these riders to move up into the elite sportsman 600 class at ThundersportGB if they have a good go. It's on the front row, Matthew Jones, number 92 on pole, Chris Wilkinson second, Chris Green, number 60 in third, and number 199, that's Jamie Morris in fourth position. Jamie, a rider from High Wycombe, that you may have seen in the mini-twin class last year. Kyle Wilkes is on the second row. Kyle, a regular at ThundersportGB. Sponsored by Blink Legal Limited, and all of these riders will fancy their chances of getting in the top 10 as we see Ben Neary, number 93 from Wakefield, and any second now the riders will line up ready for this first race. There's certainly not going to be any confusion on the choice of tyres as the green flag goes up at the back, and we are ready to go for the first race of the season in the HMT Racing Pre-National Sport 600s, and it's a brilliant start for the favourite and pole sitter Matthew Jones, number 92, and Kyle Wilkes has got away from the line well. It's also, they head into a slippery and daunting paddock hill bend, and we've lost a rider already, and that's the leader, pole sitter Matthew Jones. The Welshman's gone down, he's lost the front end, the rider is up and okay. The men and women in orange race over to get the bike to safety. Well, I never. Matthew Jones out of this race already, and well, that was a turn up for the books. Just losing the front end into Paddock Hill Bend, of course, easy to do in conditions like this as we filter through the rest of the pack. Ben Murphy, number 42 there, just making his way around Graham Hill Bend. So back at the front we are, and as we tip into Surtees, that there is number 88, that's Michael Golden on the Kawasaki. Michael from Ringwood in Hampshire, sponsored by Martin and Company CA. In second position, that's 62, Jake Robertson out on the Triumph, as we just see a shot there of number 60, Chris Green, getting a little bit beaten up through clearways, and Joe Carnell, number 66, is also there. Oh, look at this lot as they head into Paddock Hill Bend. This is the battle from pretty much third, fourth, fifth, all the way down. You can see in the background there, Matthew Jones's bike just parked up, but at the front it is Michael Golden. The winner of each weekend, after the points have been accumulated, of course, at ThundersportGB in the HMT Racing Pre-National Sport 600, the winner gets a fully paid entry into the RLRmotorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite for the next round. They also get a set of tyres, a full suspension review and setup session, courtesy of HMT Racing and PCR Development. So there's a big prize on offer for each winner of each weekend, shall we say, although you can only win that prize once per season. At the front, it is Michael Golden that leads, coming under pressure now from the rookie vest rider, Jake Robertson on the Triumph, number 62. And as they head round to complete another lap, they're pulling quite a gap on the rest of the field. And Joe Carnell's making good ground on that last lap around. A slightly wider approach into Paddock Hill Bend. You will, of course, remember Jamie Morris, who's making good progress. I'll stop there because there's been a change for the lead at the front into Druids, and there's some confident riding going on here from Jake Robertson, who's now past Golden and leads into Druids just that little bit later on the brakes, and you could see that one coming. He's been closing him down for a number of laps now. So it's Robertson that leads from Golden as they head into Surtees. There's a waved yellow flag there, so we've just lost a rider, and I understand that we've lost Dan Hill and Sonny Martin that have gone missing. So we have waved yellows as they head into clearways. That just means that, well, it's warning the riders, of course, that there's an incident out ahead. Number 13 there, that's Luke Shelley, who's got himself up into third position. And a bit further back, we'll see there, number 60, that's Chris Green, and number 66, Joe Carnell. Joe, a rider that races for HM Racing, coming from Rochester, just down the road in Kent here. Brands Hatch is very much his home circuit, and there is Martin again. Number 93, that's Ben Neary. Ben has travelled all the way down from Wakefield in West Yorkshire, and is making solid progress. So there's the leading two riders. Coming into Druids, Jake Robertson and Michael Golden on the Kawasaki. And once more, we see Joe Carnell, number 66, sponsored by Diablo 666, so that's why you can see the Devil's numbers all the way across the side of the machine, heading around Druids. The conditions here getting worse, and there's been a change up at the front as Golden retakes the lead now. So he's perhaps getting a little bit more heat into those wet tyres around the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch, and fancies his chances. Well, with Matthew Jones having gone down, a race winner already this weekend, that really does mean that that wonderful prize to the winner is up for grabs, and as many points as they can get, and they go up into Druids, and it's looking good there. Golden had no idea where Jake Robertson was, and Jake Robertson just had to squeeze on to the brakes that little bit longer heading into Druids. In third place, we're having broken away from the rest of the pack, Joe Carnell now. I can tell you that Matt Parker, riding on the Honda CBR from Ipswich, has come from 23rd on the grid, and he's up into the top 5 or 6 now, a little bit further back. But it's Michael Golden that leads this one from Jake Robertson. The riders, leaders head into Surtees. They flick the bikes right. We've seen Marshall there just on the inside corner, and I can hear all sorts of commotion in the background there, so I'm not sure if we've lost another rider, but the leading two filter their way around one or two of the slower riders, and it is Golden that leads from Jake Robertson with the rookie vest on. A bit further back there, that's 126 Dean Young, and number 43, that's Chris Wilkinson. Chris, who perhaps not liking these conditions very much, he qualified, or certainly from the Mega Laps, he qualified in second position. Mega Laps, a system that's put in place for Saturday's qualifying in the two races. If whatever your quickest time is throughout the day will denote your place on the grid for Sunday's races. There's been another change at the front then. So back to the front of the pack goes Jake Robertson. Alec Collinson, we just saw a little while ago, also making decent ground up, number 2 on the Kawasaki. But there's Joe Carnell in third position. Golden and Robertson up the front then. Oh, and Robertson's gone down whilst leading. He's just lost that front end. There's a stream running down from Surtees on the old GP circuit, and if you touch the brakes through there, you're going to go down, and you fear there that Jake Robertson, wearing the orange rookie vest, just maybe dabbed on the brakes and run out of room, so we've lost the leader of the race. That promotes Michael Golden up to first place. There is number 93, Ben Neary, who's been moved up also. There's Jamie Morris, number 199, a rider from High Wycombe, sponsored by Rapmany Vinyl Media for this season, and he also owns his own company. He goes to various motorsports events, takes his camera along, and you can click online to tracksideimage.com and see some of Jamie's work. So he's keen on the motorsport. He actually entered a few mini twins rounds last year and did very well, got himself up into the top 3, but he's not been out that much, hence why he's in this HMT pre-national sport race. But last lap flag is out then for Michael Golden. He's got quite an advantage now over the rest of the field. Joe Carnell is in third place. Jamie Morris has moved up to second whilst riders have been falling down. There's Alec Collinson, and Golden's just got to be a bit careful here as he filters through some of the traffic. He's lapping up to 8th position here, is Michael Golden. He's lapping round 2 seconds quicker than anybody else on circuit. He hasn't got to do anything silly. You've got a 2-second advantage, Michael, around the outside of 2 as he goes past Alec Collinson and Charlie Oakland. Alec Collinson's battling back, and he thinks that he's racing for position. Little does he know, that's the race leader. Carl Wilkes is up next just ahead of him. All he's got to do is just careful now on the throttle. Don't touch those brakes, Michael, around clearways, and you'll get the win in the bag and 25 points, which will set you on your way perhaps for that fully paid entry into the RLRmotorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite. And across the line, the checkered flag does go in the end to number 88, Michael Golden, the winner from Ringwood in Hampshire. He takes the 25 points. Second position looks as though it's going to go to Jamie Morris, number 199, and Joe Carnell of HM Racing is going to take third. Matt Parker, who I mentioned qualified courtesy of Mega Laps in 23rd position, finished in 4th. ahead of Ben Neary and David Brook. But it's a solid win in the end for Michael Golden after Jake Robertson fell at Surtees earlier on. There's Golden then with a win ahead of Jamie Morris. Carnell takes third ahead of Matt Parker. Ben Neary in fifth position. And David Brook, number 73, in sixth. And there is the happy winner, Michael Golden in the middle.
Michael Golden, welcome to HMT Racing Pre-National 600 at ThundersportGB. You must be pretty excited about that one because that was an incredible win.
It's fantastic. I had my man on the pit wall telling me how far up front I was, and it was brilliant. I was just able to knock it off a little bit, but I would like to dedicate this win to my stepfather, Ivor Franklin, who passed away this morning. Cheers, Ive. Sorry I didn't get to know you just as well as I was going to. Cheers, mate. Bye.
That was really lovely, and I suppose you've got some other people you'd like to thank, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my missus, Ali, and my mechanic, Di, who without them two supporting me behind, you just can't do this. You can't do this on your own. Got to do the bike on your own. I'd like them out there sometimes with me then.
And you've got sponsors as well?
Yeah, sponsored by Martin & Company Chartered Accountants, 151 Race Clothing, and that's about it at the minute. Anybody else, welcome.
Very, very well done. An incredibly good win. It's a great start to the season. Let's hope there's more.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
On to race 2 at Brands Hatch for the HMT Racing Pre-National Sport 600. Diminished grids due to the fact that a number of riders are of course eligible to race in the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite, which is more experienced field. We've lost a number of riders. No Matthew Jones out there for this one. No Chris Green, no Joe Carnell, no Stephen Kaplan, no Ben Murphy, no Ben Dovey. So there are a number of riders missing, as you can see. Lots of gaps on the grid. But what that does mean is that there are even more points up for grabs. And as they go away from the line there, look at that Kawasaki move. Number 2, Alec Collinson. Alec, an experienced rider. He certainly knows his way around Brands Hatch, and he has shot to the front as they dip into Paddock Hill Bend. Unbelievable stuff from Alec there. He's from Cobham, sponsored by AD Services, and he'll be delighted to lead the field through into Druids. Michael Golden got away a little bit further back at about 4th or 5th. There's Charlie Oakland, number 19, a former super teen rider, first season on a 600, but at the front it's Ben Neary that's got away and managed to make his way past Alec Collinson. Ben Neary with the orange vest on, the rider from Wakefield that we mentioned earlier. We've got a faller already in the background, and well, who is that? That looks like it may well be Jamie Morris. In fact, it is Jamie Morris, who finished second in the earlier race, has taken a tumble, and that's such a shame for the rider from High Wycombe. Well, that now means that Michael Golden, who won that earlier race, if he can finish this race in the top 3, then that prize I mentioned earlier is all but his. It's looking pretty good for Michael, but to finish first you have to finish. It's Ben Neary that leads this one as they tip into Druids. That's Michael Golden in second place, and Alec Collinson is forced to sit up there as they go through Druids, and that's due to the fact that Luke Shelley has got his nose up into the top 3. Jake Robertson was also taking an extremely tight line into Druids up by the hairpin there, so we'll see if that pays off for him in a moment. But as they head into Surtees, it's Neary that leads from Michael Golden, and yes, that is Jake Robertson that's moved up into 3rd position, so that then means that down to 4th place goes Luke Shelley, Alec Collinson down to 5th. The orange vests, of course, mean that the riders are complete novices this season. There's 3-1-1, that's Dan Hill. Dan, who qualified in 15th position on the Yamaha R6 at the front then. Going around the outside is he, Michael Golden, the race 1 winner. Thinks better of it this time, and if he gets some good drive down Paddock Hill Bend, up Halewood Hill and into Druids, then he should be able to take the lead, and does so. Into Druids they go, and is he made just to sit up a little bit there? Oh, it's tight round Druids, but there's a 4-way fight for the lead. Into Graham Hill, Golden leads from Neary. It's then Shelley that moves up into 3rd place ahead of Robertson. Robertson pushed out wide there, and the 2 rookies side by side. Robertson almost going on the grass, ever so easy to run out of room just on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. Back at the front, it's race leader, the race 1 winner there, number 88, Michael Golden on the Kawasaki, sponsored by Martin & Company Chartered Accountants, and he's looking good here to win that prize, which will send him to Donington Park, and he'll get a fully paid entry. A bit further back, you see glimpses of Sonny Martin and Dean Young, number 126, around Clearways. But back at the front, it's Golden that leads it. Neary in 2nd place, and 3rd is Robertson. 4th is Shelley. 8 wheels going for the lead. And Ben Neary is all of a sudden putting a few good laps in together, and he slings the bike up the inside of Golden and says, have that, as they go around Druids. They exit now, and Golden just has that little bit more of an advantage. Just in the background there, you can see Shelley up the inside of Robertson again, and Robertson being pushed out. Oh, and Shelley's gone down, and he's angry with himself. He's almost clapping his hands as he's going down. He's so upset with himself there. Luke Shelley maybe just carrying a little bit too much speed into Graham Hill Bend in these slippery conditions, and Shelley goes down. Golden makes his way around. He's the race leader ahead of Neary. There is Jake Robertson now in 3rd position with no Luke Shelley to bother him anymore. Further back we see Alec Collinson. David Brook is making excellent progress through the field, number 73 on the Yamaha R6. And there's Sonny Martin, number 11, and 36 there. That's Adam Extance, the only remaining Honda out on circuit at present, as the riders head up in towards Druids. Jake Robertson's moved up to 2nd position ahead of number 93, Ben Neary now. They exit Druids and head towards Graham Hill, and maybe Jake Robertson fancies himself as another winner here. We saw earlier he fell from the lead when he tipped into Surtees, just losing that front end. He ran out of tarmac in the end, and here he is again chasing down Michael Golden for the lead. Into Surtees they go, and it's still Golden, the Kawasaki rider we spoke to a little while ago, delighted with that win, and he's looking good to leave Brands Hatch with the full championship lead. But Jake Robertson coming under pressure from Neary, and they're side by side as they go down the Brabham Straight now. That's the battle for 2nd we're looking at. Golden goes through, he leads. It's still Robertson that takes 2nd position out there on the black Triumph 675. Down the dip, up Halewood Hill and into Druids for those riders. Sonny Martin a bit further back, and Adam Extance, you can see, just veering off into the inside line. And is he going to make that one stick? Not quite. They tip into Paddock Hill Bend. It's a tricky corner to navigate in the dry, let alone in the wet. But exiting Druids now and putting a little bit of a gap over 2nd and 3rd place riders, and Ben Neary's going to fancy a look around the outside into Graham Hill Bend. That's unbelievable move from Ben Neary. He moves up into 2nd position ahead of Jake Robertson, and what will Jake have to say about that? They head into Surtees now, and well, this means that Golden's lead is somewhat, probably just over a second, as he heads around Clearways now. There's Ben Neary, and there is Jake Robertson, number 62. Jake, who's been up into 1st, down to 2nd and 3rd. There's Collinson, and just behind him, that's number 73, David Brook on the Yamaha R6, and his lap times certainly suggest that he could push for a podium here. There's Adam Extance now moving ahead of Sonny Martin, number 11. But it's Golden that leads on the Kawasaki ZXR at the front. There he is, and it's Ben Neary in 2nd position. just about holding off Jake Robertson in third as they dip into Graham Hill Bend. There's Charlie Oakland, number 19, female rider, former super team. Currently in the points, she's in about 12th or 13th place. And David Brooke has moved up into 4th now, ahead of Alec Collinson. So Brooke has moved ahead of Collinson. Collinson still in around about the top 5 or 6, having got the whole shot earlier on. After a number of riders that fell earlier on were not able to make to the grid. Back at the front though, that lead for Golden looks secure. There's Ben Neary in 2nd and Jake Robertson in 3rd, who fell at Surtees earlier on whilst leading, and I saw sparks there. Oh, and Jake Robertson goes down again. He stands up, rider is okay, which is great to see, but that is Jake Robertson walking away. He's going to go and pick up the pieces from his bike, but this is a terrible weekend for Jake Robertson. No points on offer for him today, and he's going to have to lick his wounds and come back a better person and a better rider at Donington Park in a few weeks' time. Jake Robertson's out of this one, so Golden still leads. That doesn't affect him. Ben Neary has got a bit of an easier job on his hands now in 2nd position. He's not got Jake Robertson shadowing him anymore. That does mean that David Brooke is up to 3rd, Alec Collinson is up to 4th, and Adam Extance looks as though he's made his way up into the top 5 also. Last lap flag out for Golden. He's just got to creep around now, and a top 3 finish would mean that he'd end up as the points leader come the end of this weekend. There is Brooke ahead of Alec Collinson. So, well, Matthew Jones' favourite. Oh, and that's a monstrous crash heading into turn 1. And that really will knock the wind out of you. That's Matt Parker. Matt Parker goes down and sits up, and that's such a shame. Great to see the riders okay, because let me tell you, that is probably a rider doing probably the best part of 120 miles an hour who's just come off there. Well, nice to see that he's up, but Parker's out of this one. Meanwhile, back in the front with just clear ways to deal with, he comes around Clark Curve and onto Brabham Straight. Michael Golden's going to do the double here at Brands Hatch today. He wins race 2 ahead of Ben Neary, who picks up 20 points, and Golden will leave Brands Hatch as the championship points leader. A great win for the rider. 3rd position, it's going to go to David Brooke, who finishes just ahead of Alec Collinson in 4th. Adam Extance made great progress up into 5th position ahead of Dan Hill in 6th, and there is the winner once more, Michael Golden. That's it from Brands Hatch then. We'll see you in a few weeks at Donington.